What's up, everyone? Welcome back to No Cap Space with yet another WNBA team preview. Look, today we're talking about the defending champions. We're talking about the New York Liberty, who I don't want to say it too loud because Shawnee might spawn in. I think there's an argument that they got better this offseason. I know. And please, look, don't tell Shawnee I said this. And if anyone clips this and sends it to her or tags her I'll know. So don't tell Shawnee I said this. But to me, there's no reason that the Liberty can't just repeat this season. There's not. And today we're going to talk about why. We're going to talk about the three things that I'm interested in. We're going to talk about the ceiling, which it's championship, or the floor for the New York Liberty. So let's dive into it. Like I said, ceiling, championship, floor is a semifinals at worst, which would be the absolute worst. But I would be shocked if they're not in the WNBA finals again. I mean, look, first off, let's start off with the biggest move that they made this offseason, and that was getting Natasha Cloud and obviously Courtney Vandersloot on the way out. They went and got the perfect point guard to put next to Sabrina Ionescu. And if you tell me that this season, oh God, don't tell Sean. Oh no. If you told me this season that Sabrina Ionescu has her best season yet, I wouldn't be surprised. And it all has to do with Natasha Cloud, because now you have one of the best point guards in the WNBA. You have, again, like the embodiment of the exact point guard I'd want next to Sabrina. Like, this was the perfect move. Like, if you told me, okay, New York Liberty, you can take any point guard across the WNBA and you can put them on this team to help Sabrina, it's Natasha Cloud. Like, that is the perfect fit to do that. So, I mean, what an absolute home run pickup for this Liberty team. There is no reason that Sabrina should be on the ball this season. She should be off ball. Like, there should not be many instances. If Natasha Cloud and Sabrina Ionescu are on the court together, I better not see Sabrina taking that ball up. I better not. Because there's no reason. There's no reason to do that. And with that, again, there's an argument to be made that they just got better. They just simply got better. And it was it's necessary. Like, they barely, I mean, we all saw that final series. It was close. You had to go get better this season. You had to. So there's a very real reality out there that the New York Liberty got better and can go and repeat. Now, I do think that the rest of the WNBA got better. Just across the board, it really does feel like it. A lot of teams made a lot of good moves, and even the bottom half of the WNBA, to me, is better this season. So it's not, I'm not saying it's some walk in the park. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. But to me, there is a very real argument to be made that the New York Liberty got better and can run it back. I mean, it's not a hard argument to make. I will say, what is holding that argument back is the fact that you lose Betnijah Laney-Hamilton. I mean, just such an important piece to making this whole Liberty system go is Betnijah, and she's going to be out for this season. However, you have some fantastic replacements that you can bring in for that. Leonie Phoebus is one of them. Kennedy Burke is one that we could see an increase in minutes. Obviously, Niara Sabally, which is not exactly the same position, but you might be able to put Sabally in at the 4, at the 5, and allow Stewie to kind of play more of that 3 position. She was phenomenal in the playoffs. So you have even Rebecca Gardner. Like, the fact that this team just already had Rebecca Gardner to fill in right there is ridiculous. Izzy Harrison is another player that just to fill in some minutes at that 4, again, to maybe let Stewie play up into that 3 position. There's, again, Betnijah is so incredibly important to this New York Liberty team, and it's not as simple as just putting in another player, right? Even Marquise Davis is like, but I say that to say there's so many options to fill in for Betnijah Laney-Hamilton, where that's why I still think there's an argument to be made that this team can be better than last season. Because even with losing Betnijah, I just named like 6 different options to go in and fill that gap. And that is not a luxury that many teams have across the WNBA. The depth that they have on this New York Liberty roster, the bench that they have, even with losing Benijah, even with, so like, let's say you put Phoebus in the starting lineup, right? You're still so stacked, so incredibly stacked. And that's just really the forward. That's not even talking about the fact you're getting possibly my favorite player of the WNBA back, Marine Johannes. I'm I'm so excited. I'm so excited that she's back. And so again, I just, even with Benijah being out for this season, which is a major loss, it is a huge loss. There's so many different options to replace that, mainly on the defensive side of the ball, to replace that. And that's why I still feel like there is a legitimate argument that this Liberty team, by the end of the season, obviously we'll kind of have to, in retrospect, look and once we have hindsight and everything of that nature of how this team was built. But on paper right now, there's not much telling me that this can't be a better team than last year. And a lot of that has to do with bringing in Natasha Cloud. And again, you're able to minimize as much as you possibly can the loss of Benijah because of how much talent you have on this roster. Now, if I'm nitpicking from last year, and this has been a conversation about the Liberty since Jonquel Jones arrived, is how can you elevate Jonquel further? I mean, that has been, again, that's just been the dialogue around New York since Jonquel's got there. Obviously, a former MVP, and it hasn't always felt like she was being maximized. I mean, she was a third leading scorer on this team. She had averaged 14 points. Like, only not even 10 shot attempts per game, which I think is the thing that always rubbed me the wrong way the most. She was at 9.8 attempts per game. That's what always bothered me the most, is because it's rare to have two bigs like Stewie and Jonquel. And it oftentimes just simply felt like, whether it just be through Sabrina's shot attempts or whatever kind of form it took, there was a lot of times where I just simply felt like Jonquel Jones was not being maximized, and the Liberty were just making life harder on themselves by trying to, whether it be through, like, Sabrina is the leading shot attempt on the team at 15.9. Stewie's right behind at 15.2. No one else is above 10. To me, I want Jonquel taking some of those Sabrina shots personally. And again, she shoots 53% from the field. And that is with an interest, like a mix of layups down low, but obviously Jonquel can stretch the floor as well. That is what I want to see, is how can the Liberty just make life easiest for themselves? Because again, it just hasn't felt like they did that, and they still won the championship. So if you're already making life difficult for yourself on top of whatever the other team is doing, imagine if you just made life easier on yourself. Imagine what could happen. And so that's what I want to see from the Liberty this season, is how can you make life easier on yourself? And to me, that all flows through Jonquel Jones, and it flows through now having Natasha Cloud on that perimeter defense. And if you add in a Rebecca Gardner at the 3, if you add in Leonie Phoebus at the 3, like, you're still maintaining that defensive level. There's not a major drop off. Again, the depth on this team is so incredible, and there's no reason that they can't go and repeat as WNBA champions. Again, we'll have to see if it happens, but from an on-paper perspective, there's not many holes on this roster. There's just not. And so with that, you now have that championship experience. Like, there's no kind of holdbacks on that. I feel like you got better. To me, the Liberty, at minimum, if you're not in the WNBA finals, at minimum, it's an absolute disappointment. And that's just simply because of respect of how good this roster is. So let me know what you think. What is stopping? Let's frame it like this. In the comment section below, let me know, in your eyes, what is stopping the New York Liberty from winning the WNBA championship in back-to-back years? Because that's what I feel like the question to ask is. Because to me, this roster is incredibly full. I feel like it's going to take a team to just be playing incredible basketball at the right time to beat this New York Liberty team, because they are absolutely stacked. So let me know, and make sure you're tapped in here on No Cap Space. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you're interacting down in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling. And of course, NoCapSpace.wbb.com, our print and podcast content, all in one place for you. So make sure you're tapped in across the board. All the links down in the description below. and I'll see you next time.